the act of the evening. Straight from the LB. Oh yeah. Give it up for Adryelle.
Yeah.
Strong beaches in the house.
It's happens to go because they are changing. Seeing yours looking very different now. And the one you're looking, he says I'm looking. turn up just a little bit more in the house.
In the house? I've got them already at the max.
Okay.
I can turn the monitor up a little.
That'd be great for me. Cool.
You too?
You too.
Alright, we're going to switch gears a little bit. This next song is called Your Heart is an Ocean, and I actually wrote it on the ukulele, and so yeah, I'm going to play on the ukulele.
All right.
So this is a worship song, so it's pretty easy. The chorus, it's your love never runs dry. So feel free if you feel like singing to sing along. Your words wash over me. Your mouth Your heart is an ocean so wide. Your love it never runs dry. Thank you. This next song is called Hughes. I wrote it based off of how sometimes our minds are black and white, like as a metaphor of like not having the colors of God shining on our thoughts. And so the chorus is, your hues bring color back to my black and white mind. So. Thank you. So we have two more songs left, and yeah, thank you guys for sticking around and listening to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks for having us here too. This song's called Black Car. That song is about time travel. And this next song is about Job 38. This next song is called Tornadoes, and when I was reading Job 38 one day, I was just like kind of like blown away at how big God is, and like just reading through His greatness, and I decided to write a song about it. So it's pretty much word for word Job 38. So, and it's just about how God's there in our tornadoes, and He turns things around, and He turns everything around for His good. So. This is our last song. Where were you when I laid the foundation of the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who determined this measurement?
Can you move your thing, please? Can you move that, please? Can you move that, please?
On which earth's basis some can be raised on a stone.
Payaso.
Morning stars sent together shine joy.
Adryelle, give her another hand, yeah! Adryelle, good morning. We had a meeting for a bit. We might even bring everyone up eventually. But wow, that's good. First of all, this is like my second or third time probably meeting you live. I've met you on Zoom a whole bunch of times, but live, I've seen you a few times, I guess, right?
Yes, I think.
We've had you at Casey's Bible study there, leading worship sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. We hear Michael Cave over there? All right. So, Adryelle, first of all, I'm looking at your setup, and it looks very minimalistic, but I know you have tracks going on that you've worked hard on.
Yeah.
And as I was listening, I was going, I could probably do that too, but you are doing it. That's a big difference. You're doing it. You're putting in the work, and as an adult with a job and with responsibilities and all that stuff, it's hard to carve out time to do that, but you're doing it.
Yeah.
So, tell me about what goes in behind the scenes for what you did tonight, for example.
Probably about 15 years of really hard work.
15 years? Okay.
I've definitely been producing for a really long time, and it's definitely been a progression of just a learning process. I mean, it's just been a huge learning process and discovery as well. And but yeah, as far as what I use, I use Logic Pro and a lot of MIDI stuff, and then I also use some synths and stuff like that, hardware synths and everything. But I guess that answers your question.
Now, your inspiration. I'm going to throw out some names, but this may not be your inspiration. But I'll throw out. I've heard elements of Cyndi Lauper, elements of Missing Person, elements of Human League, even Rebecca St. James and things like that. But I don't know. What were some of your inspirations musically?
Yeah, I actually used to listen to Rebecca St. James a long time ago. And I think there's influences that kind of leak in that I'm unaware of, subconsciously.
Yeah, that's what I work.
But yeah, I would say Depeche Mode, The Cure for sure.
Those are male-dominated bands, but there's still the influence there musically.
Yeah.
The synthesizer and so forth.
Yeah, Kate Bush is a female artist from the 80s, and she's definitely been influential in just her variety of different stuff that she's done. That's the main ones. Nirvana as well.
Wow.
So.
Well, I know that you're bringing an element of art and artistic expression. I know music is always art, but you make it more art. And I heard that you actually do painting, watercolor, and other kinds of art.
I do,
You
yes.
express yourself in different ways.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I do watercolor paintings. I do a lot of nature and animals, and just very colorful stuff like that.
Does that make its way into your album art?
Not yet, but that's an idea that.
And what about even stage backdrops? I can imagine some of that stuff being there for you.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
It seems like it would go hand in hand with your music and the artisticness of your music.
Yeah. I haven't found a style that fits yet, but maybe one day.
Wow. And I've heard that you've got some airplay in places like Norway, Italy, Germany. How did that happen?
Yeah, that's kind of started with my first album, which is no longer out anymore. But I put
No
it
longer
out.
out, you pulled it.
Yeah, it was I put it out on a net label called Flaming Fish Records, and it was a Canadian net label, Christian Goth Industrial. And
I have to wrap my mind around that. Christian Goth Industrial.
yeah, it was
I'm envisioning these power tools.
it was a niche label, but and then just people started emailing me they're I played in my club and we're in Norway, or I heard it was Norway or Germany, but
Play in the club.
Yeah.
You're drinking and listening to the Christian.
Yeah. I'm well, that's kind of cool. That's cool.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I remember I actually lived in Denmark as a missionary, and I was taking my guitar into bars and whatever else. And I was thinking about Jesus, and they didn't care. They drink their beer and listen to sing about Jesus. They didn't have a problem with it. It was an album
That's
to them.
awesome.
Yeah. But so, you do both secular and Christian?
I mean, I guess there's some songs that are not necessarily worship. But then I do have like worship songs, and it's just kind of all mixed in. So it's just kind of like I just put it out there and market different ways. But I mean, yeah.
Well, I like what you said though about God projecting His hues of color into your black and white mind or your black and white world.
Black and white minds.
Black and white mind. Wow, because God is the author of all creativity.
Yeah.
And I would venture to say that Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, and all these people, if they have a gift, it's from God. Now, not everyone uses their gift for God. That's the difference, but God gave it to you. Now, any one of these people could use it for God.
Yeah.
If they give their heart to Jesus Christ, but do you feel that this is a ministry for you?
Definitely. I definitely feel like I would like to go into the places that aren't as obvious, I guess, like ministering to, bringing the music into places, like dark places, and I definitely feel like it's a ministry.
And I would imagine you create one-on-one conversation opportunities in such places, right?
Yeah, I hope to, just interacting with people and talking to them about, just their lives and, where they are, like.
Now this is a special treat to have your full band here tonight. I was wondering if we could bring up your young man from drums to join our conversation. Eric?
Cole Marcus.
What's his name?
Cole Marcus.
Cole Marcus, can you come on up here?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there, brother.
Hey.
First of all, you have a cool compass tonight. I don't know if it was still on the table or anything there, but so get the camera view. Maybe sit there for a minute. Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all, I've got my mask of real, I don't know if it's obvious to everyone else, but I was a teenager in the 80s. Okay, so I grew up in the actual 80s. I don't think you guys existed in the 80s. Did you? You did.
Oh, I definitely existed in the 80s. Look at me.
You look like you came out of it. Like a time machine or something. But okay, so Adryelle, I don't know if she's looking into the camera. Maybe someone can come in front here.
I'll scoot over a little bit.
But
maybe hopefully she can get in.
Okay, so Adryelle, I mean, I'm not gonna ask your age, but you weren't around back then, were you? Can you make sure we're on camera right there?
I was a baby in the 80s.
This one right here. This one right here. It's right here. Literally right here. There, thank you. You have to back it up. Is she on the camera?
Barely.
You back up the whole thing. Back it up a little bit. Just back it up. Oh, keep going, Mal.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Is that better? That's better. Thank you.
All right, okay, so were you around in the 80s?
Yes.
As an infant, right? Okay, so that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Okay, second thing, okay, I was born in September 22nd, 1969. I was around for, I think, 9 weeks or something during the 60s, but that doesn't count, right? I didn't walk around with bell-bottom jeans and, flowers and smoking dope or whatever they did back then. Dodge the bullet! So, how did you get inspired, both of you, especially you, how did you get inspired into this kind of a vibe if you weren't growing up with it? Or were you as a little girl, for example, did your father or somebody push this on you? Or?
For me, like, I was in high school, and then a lot of my friends, like, were kind of like gothic people, and so they listened to like a lot of like The Cure and like Depeche Mode, and like a lot of like Bajas and a lot of like the 80s, and then it just kind of like sparked like more interest in 80s music and new wave in particular.
New wave, you guys hear that? New wave. That's the best music on planet Earth. I'm telling you right now.
K-Rock.
K-Rock? K-Rock doesn't exist anymore? Does it even exist anymore?
Yeah.
It does? Yeah. But it's not playing the same stuff, is it?
Oh, no. Flock of Seagulls is gone, buddy.
Flock of Seagulls, brother.
But now, But now it's called synthwave.
Synthwave.
It's changed and it's evolved into something new, and now it's coming back.
Right on. Right on. What about you? Are you this? Are you in other bands as well, or just this is it? Or?
Yeah, I'm a little bit more of a, I guess you could say a little bit more of a Swiss Army knife when it comes to this stuff. So drums is primary for
So you're
me.
versatile.
Yes, sir. But I do write and produce and do music.
Well, I mean,
television.
I can't imagine playing with a click track.
Oh, it's
That's kind
fun.
of insane.
I don't know. You know, I think the number one thing that I've learned so far is if you don't hear the click, you're doing it right. And
Oh.
and if you don't hear the click and you're not playing, then the click's just not there.
So you do producing and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, it's kind of in the same genre as Adryelle. I can definitely do more like a synthwave and just kind of a lot more guitar work though. And it's a lot of fun. Influences definitely The Cure is one of that for sure. I love M83, which is kind of like a good revamp. I guess you'd say the recent revamp over the past 10 years.
I've heard about the look 'em up. What's it called?
M83.
M83.
You guys are sarcastic, but yeah, it's yeah, no, it's awesome. Yeah, but I mean, there are so many cool synthwave bands that are out, and my folks were producers back in the '80s and the '90s, and so I kind of
Anything I've ever heard of?
well, they wrote and produced the music for the Barbie doll for about 20 years. So they were hot cooking back in the day. So.
I don't know. Pastor Lance goes in there.
and then I kind of ruined the cycle of everything for them. but it gave me a lot to learn
You
from.
definitely got the look though. I mean, you look like you popped out of the 80s, man. This is amazing.
I'll take it. Thank you.
And again, I don't know how anybody wouldn't like new wave, but there are people. I don't understand. Pastor Lance, you like new wave?
I do.
All right,
Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, see, this is what me and Pastor Lance are tight. Yes.
Yeah,
No, but I mean,
I just met you, by the way. But
that's
yeah.
right. But he's from Lomita, where the prayers are sweeter.
Yeah, hey.
Right,
Well, we
right.
for the first sweet.
All
I like
right.
it.
All right, let me throw out some names here. Let's see if you young folk have heard of this. Gary Newman.
Yes.
Here in my country. That is new wave.
That was my
That's right
foosball
there.
song.
What?
That was my foosball song.
Oh, there's football song.
With that high synth.
Oh, yeah, I was feeling it.
That's the coolest song. That's one of the coolest songs ever right there.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you ever get into Tears for Fears?
What's your favorite Tears for Fears song?
Everybody wants to know more.
Welcome to the That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's when music was music.
Right?
So you guys are keeping it alive.
Talk.
That was back in the taco about Taco Gobi. You're up in the pirate train.
This man said talk. Yikes! That was a deep cut.
It's my life, man.
Let's go.
Is Brad around still? Is Brad around?
Brad, where you at? Get in here, man.
Hey, sit on the table, bro. Come on, got it right here.
Oh, is this stable?
We're gonna find out right now.
Is the table stable?
Give it a try.
Yeah.
Hey!
Brad, first of all,
Man, if you fall,
you
mazel tov.
you got a really cool first name. I just gotta say.
Best first name.
Well, okay. Here's what I'll tell you about being Brad, though. It's a really easy name to say in English if you live here, right? Take it to any other country, nope. I go to Mexico, they try to call me Pan. When it's not Brad. Brad. They can't say Brad. They
say
R.
bread,
They don't
brother.
have the R. They don't have the N. They don't have the D. Then I go to Denmark. I go to Denmark. Then I go to Denmark. It's even worse. They say the R in the back of the D, and the D sounds like an L. So it's like they're throwing up on me or something. But anyway. But Brad, I've seen you in some other context. Where else have I seen you? Where else have I seen you, brother?
Well, I just so happen to be the original guitarist from the Crimson Blues Band.
What?
Shout
Okay. Swiss Army knife over here does this too, apparently. He's versatile.
And I definitely did not listen to the new wave music back in the.
All right, good talking to you. All right.
Okay, so that was nice, Brad. Strikeout.
But while I was listening to Cream and Led Zeppelin,
Oh, man.
a couple songs made its ways through the cracks.
Blind faith.
The Pretenders, I love the
All right.
and The Cure, there was one song that I heard and I loved, and that was Just Like Heaven.
Good.
And I loved the guitar in that. And as I listened to more and more of it, I realized I actually did like the music.
Yes, yes. Well, I'll send you a playlist if you need it.
All right, bring it on.
We're on the crack. So, brother, isn't there somewhere else that isn't there someone else you also played with?
I have played actually when Tiki was desperate and needed a guitarist.
Really reaching down. No. You're very talented, very versatile. And again, like I said to Adryelle, the whole thing about an adult having a job and having responsibilities, how do you find time to not only be in your own band, but go help a couple others? How do you find it?
You know, a few years back, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, I realized that, I was a guitarist and I wasn't doing anything with guitar for God or at all. And I just started praying for opportunities. And for a long time, it just felt like nothing felt right. But I actually had a pastor pray over me and said that God was going to change guitar for me.
Amen.
Wow!
And worship became my passion. It was like all of a sudden my style changed, and opportunities just started popping up. And there's actually a cool, maybe for another time, but there's a cool story of even how Adryelle and I met, where I was praying for an opportunity and she needed a guitarist. And it just so happened that an event I was following on social media, I was like, I wish that I could be part of something like that.
Wow.
And I lifted it up to God, and then she was playing that event and needed a guitarist. And so I got to play it.
That's how God works.
Praise God.
Okay, now this is probably an unfair question to ask because you've been in Crimson Blues for a long time. Right?
I'm retired, actually.
Are you retired?
Well, they're up in the Bay Area, and so they've actually got a fantastic guitarist now.
So you only play within the area then?
Yeah, and I can, squeeze my way in.
Okay, so my question is, which kind of music is in your bones? Like, which one, if you're playing with Adryelle, or you're playing over the Crimson Blues, or are you just kind of bilingual? You can get into either mode, or how?
Yeah, both. I can't play unless I'm feeling music. I honestly can't. Like, I freeze up. And so if I'm playing, it's because it's in my bones, I'm feeling it. So I love Adryelle's music, and I love Crimson Blues music, and I love Tiki's music.
Awesome. Well, hey, you guys, we've heard all three of them, and are you guys blessed tonight? Amen.